What if an AI image model could understand not just what you want, but where you want it? Most image models are good at making beautiful pictures. But when you ask for clean text, product mockups, thumbnails, posters, or exact layout control, things often fall apart. That is why Ideogram 4 is interesting. It is not just another text-to-image model. It is built around structured JSON prompts, bounding boxes, color palettes, and design-style prompting. That means you can describe your image almost like a creative director giving instructions to a designer. But there is a big catch. This is an open-weight model, not a fully open-source commercial model. The code may be Apache 2.0, but the model weights are non-commercial. Ideogram 4 is a text-to-image model focused heavily on design. That is important because design is not just about making something look pretty. Design needs structure. For example, a YouTube thumbnail needs a clear subject, strong contrast, readable text, and a composition that works even on a phone screen. A product mockup needs a clean cover, realistic lighting, shadows, and a premium presentation. A cinematic story scene needs character placement, background, emotion, camera angle, and lighting. Ideogram 4 is built for this type of controlled image generation. One of its biggest strengths is that it can use structured JSON prompts. Instead of writing one long paragraph, you can break the prompt into sections. First, the high-level description. Second, the style description. Third, the composition. And inside the composition, you can describe objects, text, bounding boxes, colors, and layout. That makes it very useful for creators who want more control over images. Getting started with this Ideogram 4 workflow in ComfyUI is simple. First, you need to have ComfyUI installed locally on your computer. Go to the official ComfyUI website or GitHub page, download the latest version for your system, and follow the installation steps. If you are completely new to ComfyUI, you can also watch my other video where I explain how to download, install, and run ComfyUI locally step by step. Once ComfyUI is installed, make sure it is updated to the latest version. This is important because newer workflows and model nodes may not work correctly on older ComfyUI builds. Next, open ComfyUI and go to the template library. Search for the Ideogram 4 workflow and load it into your workspace. After the workflow opens, take a moment to read the notes inside the workflow. The notes show you which model files you need to download and where each file should be saved. You will need to download the required diffusion models, VAE, and text encoders, then place each file in the correct ComfyUI model folder. The diffusion model files go inside the diffusion models folder. The VAE file goes inside the VAE folder. The text encoder files go inside the text encoders folder. After the models are saved in the correct directories, restart ComfyUI or refresh the model list so the workflow can detect them. Then choose your output resolution, paste your prompt, and select the generation mode. You can use a simple natural language prompt, or for better control, you can write your prompt in the structured JSON format that Ideogram 4 understands well. Once everything is ready, run the workflow and wait for the final image to generate. For quick tests, start with the default mode. If you like the composition and want a better final result, switch to quality mode and generate again. The biggest lesson with this model is that plain prompts work, but structured JSON prompts work better. A structured prompt gives the model a design brief. You can say, here is the overall image, here is the style, here is the lighting, here is the color palette, here is the background, here is the main subject, here is the text, here is where each element should appear. That is powerful. Now let's talk about safety. Some users are already noticing that Ideogram 4 can be very strict. You may get blocked generations or a refusal style output even when you did not expect it. The important thing to understand is this. If you are using the local ComfyUI workflow and you see an image blocked by safety filter result, that is not ComfyUI adding a filter. The safety behavior is part of the model release itself. So changing ComfyUI nodes will not magically remove it. I would not recommend trying to bypass or disable model safety. That can create legal, ethical, and platform problems. A better approach is to rephrase the prompt. Avoid words that sound violent, sexual, exploitative, biometric, surveillance-related, or connected to regulated high-risk uses. For normal creator work, keep prompts focused on design, branding, education, cinematic scenes, thumbnails, and product visuals. If a harmless prompt gets blocked, simplify it. Remove sensitive words. Describe the scene visually instead of using terms that may trigger the filter. So my honest take is this. Ideogram 4 is one of the most interesting image models for design-focused creators. The structured JSON prompting is powerful. The text rendering and layout control are very promising. The ComfyUI workflow makes it easy to test locally, but the license is not casual. If you are using the local open weights, treat them as non-commercial unless you have separate permission. And if the safety filter blocks something, remember that it is part of the model behavior, not a ComfyUI bug. I will leave some structured prompt examples you can test below. If you want more ComfyUI workflows, AI creator tools, and practical AI systems for creators, subscribe and check the links in the description. Also, comment below.